Now, I call upon a subsequent paper. This one is exploring opportunities in microinsurance, going to be done by Jumanne Mbepo. But in the meantime, I'd like to introduce Joy Kemi-Barrow Omuteku, who is the head of insurance at the financial sector deepening Tanzania. Kemi is a holder of a degree in business administration. She also holds a license in insurance, and done some different insurance and management courses here and abroad. Kemi-Barrow is the person overseeing market facilitation initiative to drive the penetration of insurance in Tanzania. And this one including low-income earners, farmers, rural dwellers, women, youths, and enterprises, in line with the financial inclusion agenda for the country. Her insurance career spans to over 16 years as a senior manager with 2 insurance companies and as a principal officer of 2 insurance agencies, and has experience in bank insurance, general insurance, health insurance, life insurance, and microinsurance. But one of the key areas of accomplishment was in setting up microinsurance agency in 2008 here in Tanzania. She also takes credit for setting up departments in Heritage Insurance Tanzania in 2005, Strategies Insurance Tanzania, our main sponsors, in 2002, and Africa Online Limited in 2000 in Kenya. That's a brief of Kemi-Barrow. Kemi, come over to the floor to introduce the presenter. And my request to you is to have me respected.
Thank you, MC, and definitely we will respect your office. Thank you so much, and thank you for the very kind introduction. As FSCT, we're very happy and proud to be here today. It's our first time to be at the TIBA conference. Unfortunately, last year we missed it. So we're happy to be here and to share the day with you. So thank you for having us as well. I wish to introduce the presenter. The presenter is Mr. Jumanne Mbepo, and he has extensive experience in managing alternative channels for insurance, particularly in microinsurance and bank assurance products. He's currently heading the insurance agency of Maendeleo Bank, PLC, and is responsible for designing insurance solutions for the bank's clients and affinity groups. His professional experience includes establishing new sales channels and design of microinsurance products at AAR Insurance. At Heritage Insurance, he designed the company's first microinsurance product targeting small business owners, and also headed a marketing and research campaign for agriculture voluntary members schemes, known as Wakulima Scheme for National Social Security Fund in different regions in the country. He carries more than 9 years experience in insurance and social security industries, focusing on the informal sector. In terms of his qualifications, he holds a postgraduate diploma in insurance and risk management from the IFM and a bachelor degree in marketing from University of Dar es Salaam. And also, this is something we're also proud to add, he is one of the 9 microinsurance fundamental training of trainers who has been disseminating courses to the market. Jumanne, karibu sana.
Thank you, Kemi. Honorable Commissioner, Honorable President of TIBA, Honorable President of IIT, all the participants, protocol observed. As it's been said, my job today is very simple. I'm speaking to the insurance practitioners, but I'm trying to tell them the different look. We usually say that I will tell you the obvious in the more obvious way. Because microinsurance is not a new concept in this market. I know you remember the TIBA for Kadi, TICA. It's been there ever since. So my job will be as simple and quick to let you know that there are opportunities in this market and trying to tell you that in order to overcome the current intermediation, the broker agents model, you should go extra. A simple content of what I will discuss today is introduction on this market, but then I'll speak about a little bit on statistical information, the FinScope and the TCDC information as December 2017. And then, briefly, I'll mention products which can be sold to the microinsurance space. Before wrapping up with the tips, I'll tell you other parameters. This is the key message. The other parameters. The microinsurance market is there, but what can be done extra to tap that market? We heard ever since the presentation early in the morning today, the 50% of insurance penetration by 2028 is not a new concept. But to run this discussion, I'll start with a question: is there a market for microinsurance in Tanzania? Do we have a market in this market in Tanzania? What is the broker contribution of the performance of this market? But also, out of 31 insurance companies and 15 brokers as 2017 reports by TIRA, is there a strategic partnership between brokers and insurers to distribute and design microinsurance products? Brokers are here, insurers are here. This is the challenge we have in this market. If you ask today how many brokers are having microinsurance product in the market, you can see 2 or 3 raised from this room. So brokers have been supporting this market, as we heard. Madam Fiki spoke about the decrease of the percentage they are supporting this market. Anselm spoke about the 4% only from the insurance space in inclusive insurance. And the market is envisioning to go into 50%. Brokers and insurers, there's a job to do to get there. Let's see a little bit of the info or numbers from this market. From the FinScope report running in 2017, we are told that 63% of Tanzanians own mobile phone. Don't we see a distribution channel there? Don't you see a market platform there? But also, we are told that medical and education expenses are regarded as priority expenses. Don't we see risk and exposure? We are told medical and education are perceived to be the problems. Do we have product to cater for that one? And this statistics comes from the adult population, 26.8 million Tanzanians, who are in low-income platform. We are told 40 of the adults borrow money from friends and family to pay for their bills. Don't we see something we can do? Seeing all the numbers, we can go with the numbers all the way. But what I'm trying to tell you, to design and sell a microinsurance product, you need to think of the competition you have. And what is the competition? Coping mechanism. Brokers might fight on products, and the product won't go outside. But when you understand what are the coping mechanisms for the low-income societies, then is when you can design a solution for this market. So we have a competition. Brokers, you have a competition to fight with coping mechanism. Not taking much time here, some few facts on the numbers. They spoke about 15% insurance services uptake. We spoke about medical insurance being the leader. Unfortunately, it's not from insurance companies. CHF, NHIF, TIBA kwa kadi, this all comes from health management organization and fund management. Do we see medical insurance here from insurance companies? Do we see solution from brokers here? So if you ask me, is there a market for microinsurance? And yet I'm seeing TICA, NHIF, CHIF performing in this market, I'll ask brokers, do you see opportunity here? I spoke about medical expenses and education being as a priority in this market. These are the risk and exposure. We are told there are risk and exposure in the market. So there's an alert here. Today morning I heard about agriculture. Unfortunately, in this market, you can see 41% of this market are farmers and fisheries. If broker thought of going to this space, the money we are speaking about, 80% of money moving in the market from low income move from this market. Farmers and fisheries. Putting away the fuel scope data, let's have a snapshot of what does TCDC says about cooperative societies. Because there are a lot of numbers you can get, but for the purpose of this discussion, as we spoke about the agriculture and farmers, I will need to pick a little bit on the data from Cooperative Development Commission. We have a number for all registered cooperative society in Tanzania. Every region, we have this market. More than 10,000 cooperative society and having 2.6 million Tanzanians registered. Yet we are looking where we can get a market. Trying to understand this information would help us to get a market sitting there. But how can we hit that market? We'll see later on. Out of that market, 31% are AMCOSs, agriculture, marketing, cooperative societies, SACCOSs, transportation, distributed in different ways. Fishing is 1%, and so on. Numbers can go for the whole day. But what I'm trying to capture here is, what can we sell to these people? We have seen there is market, there's numbers. What can we sell to these people? Briefly, because I know we are all insurers and we see our banners, we are selling a lot of products. But briefly, agriculture insurance, funeral insurance, medical insurance, credit life, these are the schemes which can easily be sold to this microinsurance space. An example, agriculture. We have farmers, small-scale farmers, we have poultry keepers, a fishery association, and the like. We all know about agriculture, about drought, about pest and other things. We had a challenge this morning, and also Mr. Rutazamba spoke about this one. We've been hearing these things all over and over. Brokers and insurers, what have we done? Should we stop today hearing the stories and come with a solution that we need to move forward? There's an opportunity in this space. Funeral insurance. We are in groups, Vikoba, SACCO, social group. If somebody passes away, we have to contribute 5,000, 10,000 to make sure we bury them. Don't we see that we can have a simple funeral scheme whereby it can be sold to these groups, and if somebody goes away, we can leverage on insurance. Do we still don't see opportunities in this market? Medical insurance, the common one. We have farmers, SACCOs, social group, Vikoba, using CHIF and NHIF in a limited supply sometime of the services. Don't we think of coming with packages where we can address issues from this market? So we can discuss all day about product. I know we're both insurers and we understand different products. Then how can we do and what can we do to get to these people with these products? Credit life. My key message is here. What other parameters should we look and consider to get into the microinsurance space? One, financial readiness. As brokers, are we ready to invest? Because microinsurance need researches, need understanding of the market, human-centered design, and so on. As brokers and insurers, are we ready to invest? If you don't invest, you cannot get there. You need to do focus group discussion in Iringa to understand how Iringa is operating. You don't do boardroom product in Dar es Salaam, lower sum insured, lower premium, and sell out. No. You need to go to the space. Are we ready to invest? Marketing materials. I came here today, look to the banners. I don't see a banner specifically speaking about product, specifically speaking about Swahili product. We are selling in a market whereby most of people are Swahili speakers, yet our marketing materials, brochures, Flyers are in a good language with some act quoted. Should we invest more to educate this low-income portfolio in a language they understand? Are we ready to invest for that one? But also, technical capacity. Microinsurance is regarded as a new space. We use traditional or the usual way of dealing with these issues. That's why you go to the boardroom and say, I see there are 500 people in Iringa, lower sum insured, lower premium, go and sell it. Did we understand that that is the most critical issue? We need to have capacity to train our people, to send them in trainings, but also to take them in specific training like product development, pricing, and so on. We cannot use the actual because they understand numbers and expect them to understand numbers for the low-income society. Brokers, are we ready to do that? Otherwise, we'll say that microinsurance cannot move. Adding more, flexible legal and political conditions. We spoke about that today morning. We are free to move. Brokers, you are in Dar es Salaam, you want to work in Tanga or in Mwanza. Why should you go to Mwanza? Partner with another broker. Design a product, do a distribution. So let's stop being selfish. That I want to design, sell, distribute, partner with others and do something in the market, disrupt this market. Otherwise, brokers will still say that there is no opportunity in microinsurance and it's too tough to handle it. Insurance provision gaps, I spoke about this and I want to emphasize on this one. Today, we have insurers selling credit life for the banks. They are experts on this one. Ask them, we have SACCOs, Vikoba, and the like. Do we have a scheme for SACCOs and Vikoba? We don't. There's a gap. Leverage on that one. Leveraging with technology. Everybody spoke about this one. Let's get a platform where we can distribute. Let's get a platform where we can sell, pricing, and everything. We cannot do alone. Partner with somebody else. There are some fintech companies. A broker cannot work outside today and say that I can do myself. No, you can never. Partner with others, leverage with technology, fintech companies, and move in the market. But before I wind up, this is my last slide. I want you to leave with tips. I know brokers are asking themselves, can we get to that market? And how can we get to that market? We are already established. The first tip is accept that microinsurance is insurance. We don't want to accept that one. Some say that that is charity work. Unless we accept that microinsurance is insurance, we cannot move. There should be an acceptance from management and our team. Secondly, if all goes that way, and you say that this is a company running for 10 years, I don't have a microinsurance unit, establish a wing to research, to understand the market, to find out what is happening in the market, and then design products. The leverage you have is you can design a product, partner with insurers, and put the product in the market. Last but not least, you don't have budget for that one. Then think about the innovation team from the team you have in your office. Pick few people, give them tasks, walk outside, see what the problems, and come with a solution suggestion. So that is cheap, use the people you have, but let them tell you what the problem outside. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is a group which really fears me, I understand.
Thank you very much, Jumani. I think he needs another round of applause, please. Please. I think he did a very good job. There were so many issues that were touched, but really we must also recognize that this is very practical. The things that he's talking about are practical and things that are possible to be implemented. So there are areas, of course, taking us through data, bringing it all together in terms of, okay, so you know where possible opportunities are, you know where those possible members are who can take up schemes. Now, what do you need to do and how can you possibly do it? So it's practical, it's workable, it's things that can be implemented. What was also interesting was the innovation piece. A lot of that has been touched in terms of remarks. I thought those would be interesting areas, and also agriculture, but I think it's going to come back again and again, so we won't go deeply on that. Partnerships are so important, traditional models, and Selmi touched on that. And also what really resonated with me, I don't know if it was the same for you as well, and would like that to come out in the questions as well, is how do you bring the customer in? There's been a lot of talk about products, solutions, but what about the customer? How do we bring them back into the picture? How do we recognize that there are different segments of customers? There are also, when you talk about the SACCOs and the TCDC information, those are women, those are youth, those are small business people, those are people in the villages, and they're also fishermen as well. So if you're looking at the product side on that, that's quite key. And linking that up with adding value to these particular potential members of schemes or policy holders or beneficiaries. How does that happen? How are we making their lives better at the end of the day? And how are we addressing the financial consumer protection needs for that? And it's important to add that these particular groups that Jumaini introduced to us right now, within their offering, if it's Vicobas or SACCOs, there is something called the social fund. I don't know if you're aware of that. And within that, there's a portion that goes in every month, whether it is 2,000, 5,000, depending on the size of the group. And that is used for emergencies. So how about moving that from emergencies to insurance? It's already being used to address risks, and it's a mitigation strategy as well. So around that, in terms of what can be done by brokers to implement microinsurance, please let's touch on that. If anyone has got, in terms of one of the two, if anyone is really willing to share what they have done and how successful they've been, I think those are motivating stories that will really build on what Jumanne is saying. But also touching on the customer piece as well. So with that, really, Jumaine, I think it's a great paper you've put, and I hope the questions will touch on the practical areas that people can actually take away. Brokers should be able to take away some information here that is ready for them to implement. So we now submit so that questions can be received from the floor. Thank you.
Hi. Over here? Right here? Hi, my name is Walter. I'm from MyBima, which is a fintech company developing a platform to facilitate the distribution of insurance products efficiently. So I just had a simple question for the presenter. There's this notion that when microinsurance is mentioned in any aspect, people always assume that it should be focused on developing products for feature phones. But as we know, as time goes forward, the usage of feature phones and smartphones is going in opposite directions. So what's your advice to these insurance companies who are developing these products in the balance of the products to address this change in the usage spectrum? Thanks.
Last question, this other corner. Please, ushers, this other end.
Thank you. My name is Omari from FBN Insurance Brokers. Congratulations on a very nice presentation, Mwalimu. I would like to add a very small but I think very important thing on your presentation. As an association, TIBA, as an association, ATI, as an institution, IIT, and TIRA as our regulator, I think we should have a part that protects existing products. We have some very good microinsurance products that have come up and died in, say, 2-3 years. I can just recall very few from Zurich Insurance Brokers, like 2-3 years ago. I participated in the early stages of this Afiaote product, which was directed at a very low-income earners, and it came and went, and we don't know what happened to that product. But TIBA can sit down and have a committee, that a product protection committee that would come and call designers, developers of these products, and ask them what happened, what's the problem, what happened between you and the insurer. Sit down with ATI, find means of making sure that these products don't just come and die just like that. I think that's a very important thing that we should do to make sure that, okay, so whatever we start doesn't die in a year or two. Thank you very much.
Can I proceed, Sam?
Hello? Yeah, panel to respond.
Thank you, Omari. Before I come to your question, let me put it clear to Omari that yes, it is needed. We've been having our microinsurance regulations sitting at the commissioner's office, expecting it can address all other issues. But I'm trying to put it that we've been having challenges in this market with microinsurance product. As I said, most of us have been designing them in the boardroom without understanding the parameters in the market. So if you take it to the market and they don't respond to you, you call it a failure. But a microinsurance product development allows evaluation and resubmitting the product in the market. Where are the people who try to fail at a point and decided to drop it? Why don't they see what was the failure? A failure is a learning process. But unfortunately, most of them, when they fail at one stage, they drop the product. With institutions like FSDT supporting consultants and everything, brokers can use them to get information and guideline on how they can do best in developing those products. So I urge all brokers and the rest of the team, let's use the capacity we have in the market, the supporters and the like, but do not run away from the market when a product fails. Learn the failure and modify and get back to the market. Coming back to the fintech guy speaking about product vis-a-vis the new technology, we are serving in a market where we are told that 63% of the market is using mobile phones. Yes, we don't know if it's data or it's USSD, but mobile phone is a space where we can leverage more. How would you go about? We have to understand the requirement of the market. If I'm not using an iPhone and you sell me a product in an iPhone, how would I buy it? So fintech and brokers can sit down and try to understand which market do we want to go. Do you want to go to Iringa and disrupt Iringa? Why don't we use USD code? So it's a matter of understanding the market and the demands of the market and coming with a solution. Microinsurance is a solution-based insurance scheme. Thank you.
MC, there's a, excuse me, Mr. MC, there's one more question. They had raised their hands for a long time. Can we please allow it?
I request, lady, I allow 2 minutes.
Thank you. And answer me. Let's go ahead.
Thank you. So actually it's not a question per se, but it could allow us also to share some few ideas. The greatest problem that faces microinsurance life expectancy in this market is the willingness of the insurer, one, to invest, two, to wait for the lifespan of that product to mature, the cycle to complete. Now you go to a product to an insurer, he wants to see underwriting profit of a microinsurance product in the same first year or in 6 months. You see, you want to get to a retail market, and the insurer is telling you, I don't have a marketing budget to back you up. So you, the broker, who is getting a 15% commission, you are supposed to get to carry the cost of product development, promotion, consumer education, premium collection, and facilitating the claims at that 15% only. How is that feasible? Now, the guy mentioned about Afya Wote. Afya Wote stayed in the market only for a single year. All the research around the world about microinsurance specifies to break even, it will take you 3 years, 5 years, up to 7 years. So the insurers must change. Otherwise, these products will continue to die. They will come and then they will die and will bring in new ones and then they will also die again. So please, insurers who are here and who also will be speaking in your boardrooms and your corridors, if you decide to get on board on a microinsurance product, embrace it with its requirements. Right? Don't expect a miracle. I mean, there is no broker who will bring you a product that a micro product that will give you underwriting profit in that first year. Otherwise, that product will have serious problems. Of course, we have seen some product, they call them microinsurance product, medical products, with a claim ratio of 20% or 25% or 30%. And then you ask yourself, is this product solving any problem? Thank you.
As Salmi addressed, that there is a simple question: how long should a microinsurance product be tested before it goes in the market? People say 3 months, 6 months, they're here. But we say it should be in the market longer enough to see claims, one, to experience renewals. Are we together? So if you have any microinsurance product, put it in the market as long as enough to understand if there are claims and how they are solved, and see if there be renewals. So brokers and insurers, don't just divert from the corner where you see that there's budget and everything. Put it in the market longer enough to test it, and then you can realize the profit later on. Thank you.
So from my end, I think it's a challenge. Well, FST, we wish to leave a challenge with the market. And the challenge is for you to look at how, if it's TIBA representatives or the broker who's representing you on the technical working group, to also use that opportunity to engage with the market, other distributors, and of course insurers, to see how partnerships can come into play, because those are one of the key avenues that some of the issues that have been put forward can be addressed. And the challenge will come, we'll know it's happened when there is increased demand for technical assistance that comes through. And that will be the pilots coming out and products coming out. So that's what we leave behind. And also for insurers and brokers who are actually succeeding in microinsurance to share their stories. Testimonies are one of the best ways to get people to see and believe and know that things actually work. So thank you very much. We appreciate.
Thank you. Big round of applause for the group. Thank you very much.